one rather timid person says, oh, they do know there is such a place. Anyway, Bryan is out every night doing things that are going to kind of perhaps blow your gasket here. So we want to make do we need the rooms darkened or anything? We're okay. Bring on Bryan Williams. He was with us last year with his predictions and his visions of the future. He's got more. Got things to show you on TV. You might want to get where you can see the big television we've got. He's hooked up with that. Give Bryan a warm welcome this morning because it's a little chilly in here.
Hello? All right, got it. Thank you, Dean, Phyllis, Carol, and Dennis for having me back for a fourth time to Global Sciences. Show you some of the evidence of my research out in Wanacue, New Jersey, and to bring this information directly to you, right from the researcher and the person that is out there in the field getting it. All right, I'm just running some of the UFO pictures I took 2 years ago, just to re-familiarize yourself with them. A lot of the people here haven't seen me since last time I was here in Daytona. But as I had said, with the UFOs, as I was told by the aliens that I deal with, the Endorians, and by the energy that I deal with of universal mind called Devron, that if I kept taking more and more pictures, they would get better and better and better, the pictures, and they have. When I went in June to Denver, we showed the people that after I had left here and gone back and continued my research, the pictures started getting better. The beings started coming in. The orbs, which are actually light body type creatures or souls, as some would say, we started getting better pictures of them, the orbs moving, the beings from the astral, the aliens, and a gambit of different creatures from mythology, creatures that are created by our mass consciousness that I'm going to show you in the workshop, a being that I shot a picture of on Friday the 13th, which tells me a little bit that we still need to elevate as a mass to reach a higher level of consciousness and love. Some of the worst things that our nightmares can come up with, and some of the greatest hopes, too, I photographed through this vortex in Wanacue, New Jersey. Now, a vortex is basically a doorway. As pertaining to me, and as how I see it, it's a doorway in time. It took me 10 years to find it. I knew it was there after I awoke. And finally, on February 10th, as I showed you last year when I first came here, I think it was only 10 days after I'd met the aliens and found the doorway, that it does exist. And through this doorway is entering a number of UFOs, aliens, creatures, ghosts, demonic creatures, angelic creatures, archangel-type creatures, and fallen angel-type creatures. You remember, when I stated last time I was here, I went out into the UFO field, being a metaphysician that I was beforehand, because I was told to by these energies, and I wanted to discover the truth. I'm a big one on that. And if everybody is wearing blue, well, I'm definitely going to be wearing white, because I like to challenge. I like to find out exactly what the truth is. So I went out. As we know, in 1964, I was picked up by the Endorian aliens, and I was showed probable realities of the future in the Sahara Desert, these movies. I made the predictions, some of them, okay, Flight 800, when that would happen, when the Israeli Prime Minister would be assassinated, that happened. The day the bomb would go off at the Olympics on July 27th, and no one would be accused of this, or no one would be arrested and put in jail for this. Of course, on the 27th, when the bomb did go off, my phone started ringing. People were like, you were right, you were right. And then as soon as that gentleman, the policeman gentleman that was arrested for it, my phone rang saying, you see, you were wrong. I'm like, what? Picking the day that the bomb goes off at the Olympics wasn't good enough? I said, that was pretty darn good. But then what happened to that gentleman? He was let loose. Nobody to this day has been arrested and put in jail for that. So the predictions were true, or came true. I said that in December of 1997, the Earth would be hit by a celestial visitor, and Greenland was hit by a giant meteor on, I believe it was December 9th, 1997 was the exact date. And the news media, of course, crushed it. Okay, it was gone. I had read the Associated Press releases to you. And now, as last November, Newsweek magazine had the cover story, Greenland's mysterious meteor that hit in December of '97. They searched down into the ice to find this meteor, and it's not there. So I personally don't believe it's a meteor. But then again, I have no evidence to show that, but it did happen. Now, I stopped making predictions and I stopped channeling Devron for the only reason is that it really didn't seem to have much effect out there. I like to make waves, like to make, validity. So I will give you one more prediction. A lot of people are asking it, and I said it last time in my workshop. I said it in Denver, and I'm going to say it again. On June 6th, Saddam Hussein will attack Jordan. Now, it's funny. I've been saying this for 2 years now. And the king of Jordan dies, last month, right? Now the son has taken over Jordan. So I find that very interesting that he died. Maybe that's working right along that prediction. How I want to start this out, really, is I'm not in this to stand up on stage and talk to you, okay? Even though I love doing it, and it's part of it. I'm in it for the hunt. Sargel means sergeant of light. I'm out there in the trenches every night, 20, 30 degrees below zero. It doesn't matter to me what the weather's like, as long as it's not raining, because rain interferes with my pictures. And I'm out there trying to find the truth. I came through the Montauk Project in 1959, not as a result of the project, but when the project opened the doorway in time, 18 souls came in from the future. That's why I call myself Sargel 18, because I remember my brothers and sisters that are also here. I seem to be the only one that I know of right now that has these abilities and is able to bring this tremendous amount of evidence out to you, more than anybody that I've ever seen. And that's not bragging. I'm just looking at the results. I'm going out there, and when I talked to the Congress here in Daytona, I think I had about 12 or 15 pictures of the meeting with the Endorian, the aliens, and of the astral plane. Well, that was 35,000 pictures ago, because I've shot 35,000 pictures since then. Okay? Out of that 35,000 pictures, I have over 25,000 pictures of these beings. I mean, when I go looking for evidence, the big problem with me is I can find it all I want. I said I was going to find it. I did find it. I said I was going to meet these aliens and photograph them. That happened. Now, if you remember correctly, when I talked last year, that I said aboard these ships were dragons. And a lot of people corrected me. They said, no, it's Draco. Brian's Draco, Draconis. And I was like, no, I wrote my book, Alien Agenda, Prophecies for the Millennium and Beyond. Devron says, and Niju, the Endorian, says that they're dragons. So I waited. And at this particular lecture, I'm going to show you who is on board these ships. And they are dragons. Now, whether they're appearing to me as dragons, or whether they are dragons, well, that's something I have to figure out. But when you see the pictures that I'm about to show you here, it's definitely going to challenge your reality. And I guinea pigged a group in Nyack, New York last week, 1 week ago today, and I blasted them with the evidence. And what happened was I saw that their auras cracked. It challenged their programming of reality. We talk about mind control in this industry, whatever you want to call it, of metaphysics. Everybody is mind controlled. If I was like God and I was able to wipe every little bit of mind control off this planet, most of us wouldn't be able to function. We'd have no set parameters of reality anymore, and we'd have to readjust. So what I'm doing is, even in the UFO community, is I'm bringing in a massive amount of culture shock. Everybody in the UFO community knows that aliens, which number one, as far as I'm concerned, an alien is a being from an astral Earth that occupies the same space in outer space that this Earth does, and an ET, an extraterrestrial, is a being in third dimension from another planet in third dimension that would come to our Earth. That's my definition of it. Okay, but the programming is reality programming is cracking when I show these pictures. People know that I'm not faking the pictures because I've had a number of people that are here right now that have been to the vortex with me. Okay, the actual vortex of Wanacue, before even the beings came in. And now they're looking, they haven't seen me in a year, and now they're looking at, they're going to see these pictures, they're going to see how great they've gotten. I'm going to show you some of the pictures. I'm going to show you a picture of the Dragon, who's aboard these ships, the Dragon aliens. Then at the workshop, I'm going to show 100 new pictures of beings created by mass consciousness. Ancient gods from Samaria, 500 BC. The god Set from Egypt, the water god that came out and met with me. Aliens walking through the woods. Dinosaurs, clear as day. And things that are just unimaginable that I am not supposed to be able to take pictures of. These things do not exist. How can I be taking pictures of it? Okay? Now what happened to us Americans? What happened to the adventurer that made us great? I believe in the United States. I believe in why it was created. Whether there was black witches and a whole Illuminati thing behind the whole deal, forming all that, well, that's all well and good. But I believe in freedom, and I also believe that every one of us can contribute to our society on a larger scale. But what I've come to find is, and I watch all these UFO shows, every time they talk about the aliens, you always hear something about culture shock. You always hear something like, if the aliens came down and they revealed it, the church would topple. The economy would topple. People would jump out of windows. Well, you know what? I happen to know humanity quite well. From all the almost 4,000 life readings that I've given around the country, I've got a lot of input from different varieties of people. Okay? I think that we could handle just about anything. And besides, if you were sitting home and you came home from work and you looked on Channel 7 News and you saw a saucer sitting on the White House, you're going to be glued to that news show. You're going to watch it. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to say, well, you know, hon, I got to go take a shower and go to bed because I got to get up tomorrow and go to work so I can pay that mortgage at the end of the month. And that is somehow, that mindset is not that it's a bad mindset, I'm not trying to knock anybody, but that's keeping us all in a nice little line, nice little straight line. Meanwhile, and believing that UFOs are from other planets, that they're grays with big eyes, and there are some grays, yes, okay, grays with big eyes, and that's where everything comes from. And they come from another world, and they're here, and they have a deal with the government, and they do have deals with our government. But I don't believe what you're seeing on television is completely the truth. You probably heard that one before. But I've come to notice all the people that, if you watched the Learning Channel last week with all the UFO stuff, and if you watched Confirmation on Channel 4, okay, these shows came to me. The Learning Channel and Channel 4 came to me. They wanted to put me on because they heard about me. I showed them the evidence. I kept it light. Well, the astral beings are here. Sorry, NBC. I know you're. I tried to keep it light. We can't put you on, Mr. Williams. I'll say, hey, you know what? I'll just say they're ghosts. I won't say they're astral beings. I'm sorry, we can't put you on. And when I left here in Daytona, okay, I went and signed a major television contract for my own show, okay, which is going to go on either UPN or Channel 7 or Channel 5 called Sargell 18's Mysterious World. And they signed me, and I sat in these big, beautiful offices in Manhattan. You know, Leisure Time Productions, which do all the John Grisham movies, Label Records, okay, signed me to a 5-year deal. I have the contract right here with me. They told me to go out and get evidence. Stupid me. Sure. So I go out and I get tremendous evidence. I come back and I show them. They look at it. They had more meetings with the people from Europe who financially back all these productions, and they called me up and said, sorry, we can't sleep because of you. And I go, why? They go, your evidence. You're not leaving us any room for doubt. How can we put you on TV? You tell us that you will go to the vortex, shoot astral beings and aliens, and upload them directly to live television around the world, and we know you can do it. We can't have that. And I'm like, well, you signed me to a contract. It's like, yeah, you weren't supposed to come back with the evidence. If you didn't come back with the evidence, you came back with an excuse, you'd have your show. And I'm like, then what's on TV? I go, how much, my book, I went to the German Book Festival. The book was committed to 15 countries. John Grisham, agent, came and solicited me to do the book. I wrote the book about what's happening between now and the year 2025, who the players are, the whole 9 yards. Cannot get an American publisher. America has shut me down. Okay, so in other words, the deal in Europe doesn't go down. All right, and I'm like, why? How come 15 countries in Europe commit to my book? I can't even get a crummy publisher to buy my book here in the United States. The evidence. I keep bringing out the evidence. The stuff you see on TV, this is an animation of what went down. You can hear a couple policemen on a radio saying, there's big lights, we're chasing them. But God, don't bring in the evidence and put it right in front of people, because they're not going to put it on television. Yet, there are certain people saying that aliens come in, take you out of your bed, float you out of a 12-story window in New York City, a female, and stick things in every orifice that this female has, and creates tremendous amount of terror, which is scaring the hell out of people that are watching it. But it can't be any more scary than what I'm showing you. Okay, so there's something up. I'm thinking, okay, there's something up. I'm getting tremendous amount of pressure from the UFO community, from the television people, from the media, okay, not to keep pushing this fact. And when I get that type of pressure, I'm sorry, I have to push against it. Because it's telling me that I'm onto something, and that there's something not right with what's being told us out there. Now, my research has overlapped back and forth, out of the Bible and into the Bible, and I tried to stay away from the Bible. Okay, I'm really not into the cult thing, I'm really not into the Koresh thing, and all that other stuff that goes down with that. But man, it keeps crisscrossing back and forth. In Revelation 12:7, it says right there that Michael and his angels will fight the dragon at the end times in the heavens and cast the dragon, who is Satan and devil, out of the heavens. Why would they use the word dragon? Why would they call Satan dragon? You know why? Because he is a dragon. A real fire-breathing winged dragon. And I'm going to show you these dragons. I'm going to show you one now, which I'm sure, you tell me if you think it's a dragon. Okay, I'm sure you'll see it. I'm going to show you a lot more with the fire coming out. People, when they see this, they freak. I have a researcher who left an $80,000 a year job in Arizona, moved back to the Pine Bush, Wanacue area, called me up for 4 months and wanted to come out with me. Finally, I let him come out. We went out a couple times, he started shooting these pictures, and yes, he started getting weird things that he never got before. He told me over and over again, I am in for the meeting. I want the meeting. I want the initial contact. On October 2nd, he and I were back down by the vortex. We took some shots. We were getting some neat, weird stuff, light creatures. We came back out to the trail leading back to this giant bridge where I show you a lot of these creatures like to hang out because they like big structures like pyramids and bridges. And we're standing there, and I'm fixing I'm putting batteries in my camera, which you'll see a lot of the pictures, me always putting batteries in my camera because I go through batteries like crazy. And we turn around, and there, 10 feet away, is standing a gray. Right there, third dimension, silvery gray, the eyes, the whole 9 yards, solid. I look at him, he looks at me, get it. And we both go after it. We run right to it. We're talking 10 feet away. It jumped right into the woods and was gone. This man has never been back since. Okay? And I call him, and I say, come see the evidence. I get excuse after excuse after excuse. And I come to realize that people really, as much as they say, a lot of the people, not everyone, folks, especially the enlightened group that's here at Global Science, but not everyone would react that way. But you know what? A lot of the people that say, I want that meeting, I want that evidence, boy, when it's presented to them, whoop, they fall apart. You know, me, on the other hand, I just continue to go out. I get a lot of excuses from the researchers in the area. Oh, it's too cold, Brian. I'll catch you in the springtime. I got some of my best shots at 20 below. Now, I know I'm out there wearing a big winter suit. I have a samurai sword on my side because there's dragons out there, and some of them are solid, and I'll show you what they look like, and their nest and their footprints, and they're pretty scary. I have a magical staff because I am a metaphysician, and I'm dealing with magic. So I go out actually every night, and some of these creatures, these demonic creatures, I vanquish. Just like you would see in fairy tales. I'm out there, people get a load of me walking into the woods, they have no idea what I am. I got a utility belt, I got lights, I got a sword, I got a staff, I got a pack of cigarettes and a cup of coffee, and they're looking at me like, dude, you are nuts. You are definitely nuts. And these are the people from Wanacue, and believe me. But nobody else is out there. Now, when I want to talk about the adventurer, I believe that we're being subdued as a race. I believe that we're being held down, and I believe our sense of adventure that made us the greatest country in the world has now been channeled Most of the people have been channeled into this one little slot, while a group of people that, let's say for lack of a better word, we'll call the Illuminati, are out having a hell of a good time with aliens, doing all kinds of stuff, creating wars here, doing this, doing that. Meanwhile, we're supporting their reality by working 9 to 5 and keeping all that structure, blindly going. And it's not our fault. It's not anybody in front of me or anybody I meet's fault. You are programmed from the moment that you are born. You know, programming is like that. I'm hooking you. I'm going to show you stuff in my workshop that is mind-blowing. I'm not going to show it to you here. You know why? Because I want you to come to my workshop. That's how I make a living, and that's how Global makes money. So that's a form of control. Okay? I am going to tease you a bit, though, and you're going to see that. But that's not like, I'm not bad. You know, it's not bad to know that when you see a red light and you're driving down the road, that you're to put your foot on the brake. Now, let's say you were the only person left in the world, but all the electricity was left on. And you went driving down the street, and there was nobody. You traveled for weeks, there was nobody. You know every time you see a red light, your foot's going to go. Now, how long would it take you to break that programming where you wouldn't even think about it? Because there's nobody coming, because you're the only person left in the world. It might take years for some people to break that programming. Now, that's a good programming. You see a red light, stop. Otherwise, somebody's coming from the other way, might hit you. But programming and mind control is everywhere. People have asked me recently, who do you relate to in history? You're doing something that most people aren't doing, or that most people have not been allowed to bring to the public, and I have. Okay, tremendous amount of pictorial evidence, photographic evidence. Okay, who do you relate to? And I said, you know, that's a good question. I was going to say Crowley or Tesla or somebody. And I said, you know who I relate to? I said, I relate to Christopher Columbus. They're like, why Columbus? I said, basically, Columbus went against every known scientific evidence that the world was flat. He talked somebody into back him, Queen Isabella, who basically gave him 3 crummy ships that she was going to break up anyway, and like 200 or 300 prisoners that she would have had to feed, and said, here, Chris, yeah, go find a new world. Go sail off the edge of the earth. And look what Columbus did. Okay? He took what he was given and discovered a new world. Now, we know that Columbus had a little insider information from other mappers that have been around the world, and he realized, and very few people knew this, that the world was round. So he actually had the insider information. I also have the insider information through Devron and through the Endorian aliens that there is a way to get to the astral plane, that there will be a safe haven during the upcoming earth changes for people. That's where they will ascend to. We think too linear. Ascension does not mean a ship's going to come down, you're going to board with your pass, you're going to sit in your comfortable seat, and you're going to fly up to one of these ships that are circling the planet. Ascension means you will go through something to a higher plane, and this will be a doorway. And if I'm correct in my own mission, in 2001 I will open this doorway so people can actually pass through, but I have to stay because I have more stuff going down here on the planet. So I relate to Columbus. That's how I think about myself. I've discovered a new world. I'm bringing out tremendous amount of evidence of a variety, of mind-blowing variety. And now I have to work against the establishment, the established thought of what is real and what isn't real. The easy thing was finding the aliens. That was the easy part of all this. The hard part is bringing it out to the world. That's where I'm being stopped. Okay, I made the prediction on August 24th it'll be a day that the East Coast will rue. That's it, from Maine to Florida. That was my prediction. That's what was on Strange Universe. But you know what happens? People start pushing channels and people that predict. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Finally, I caved in. I'm like, okay, Maine to Florida, an earthquake or a tidal wave's going to hit us. Because I couldn't figure out what else would. They don't give me all the information. August 24th comes, we have that big hurricane coming in that hit Florida and all that. I'm thinking it's that. The vortex opens fully on that day, and all these creatures that I'm about to show you start coming in the thousands into our world. But what happened, I just found out last week. MCI put up a satellite system on August 24th of last year that is microwaving the whole East Coast with low-level microwaves from Maine to Florida, so you can whip out your cell phone and call from any crevice that there is on the East Coast. Well, people, they have done studies, and I'm going to talk about this in my workshop and read the study to you, part of it. So cell phone microwaves, if you have too much, if you're exposed to these microwaves too much, it affects a part of your brain, let's say, that kind of gives you energy to fight. So actually, in a way, we're being subdued. We're actually living in a giant microwave oven right now. Okay? And slowly we are being affected. Now, people ask me, how do you protect yourself? I said, you know, the funny thing, remember those old comedy shows, the guy walking around and thinks aliens are getting him with the tin foil around his head? I go, that's probably not a bad idea, as long as that tin foil is lead-lined. But get away from the large, large cities where there is a tremendous concentration of cell phones. Because those cell phones, if they're activated, like I live near New York City. How many cell phones can there be in New York City? About 20 million, which probably 2 million of them are on at any time, people talking. All those microwaves are frying your brain. So that's what happened on August 24th. That's very interesting. Now we're going to show you some pictures. I'm going to talk about them. Oh, let me explain something too, folks. What I'm dealing with here is a very simple laptop computer with a little device, which is like your cable wire that comes into your home, okay, and it puts the picture on the TV. People look at me and they're like, well, you know, you're so high-tech, you couldn't be cheating with all this. Folks, it's a laptop. It's a simple laptop computer. It's a very, anybody, actually any of our kids who are in kindergarten can run it, okay? It's a very simple machine. I'm not as high-tech as people think I am. I have to learn, like everyone else, how to use these things. But once you do, they're very simple. Now, let me just bring this up. The orbs. The orbs are souls. When you die, and your soul leaves your body, energy is not chaotic. It will take form. It'll either turn into a round circle, an orb, like you see there behind myself and Christopher O'Brien in Mysterious Valley, or it will turn into a football-shaped orb. And then at that point you will travel to the astral, and then you'll decide whether or not you will experience heaven or hell. Okay? Now, we learn about this in metaphysics. Energy is light. Light moves very quickly. These things are standing still for a picture. Maybe it's an agreement with me. Maybe they're just standing still. Okay, but this is what you see here in this picture behind me that Sandra took, and we also have Carol, Dennis, and Parker there with us, okay, is a being watching us in its light body. When these astral beings, aliens, ghosts, demonic creatures, angels, want to walk unnoticed in third dimension around us, they will turn into an orb. They will float or move at sometimes very high speeds, well, 186,000 miles a second, because that's what light moves at, okay, to another point, and they'll just sit and watch. Now, I was blowing off some pictures when Stuart Swerdslow was talking, because I like Stuart, and I believe in him, okay? I wasn't trying to photograph anybody in the room. I know we heard some feedback. People didn't want to be photographed. I wasn't trying to do that. I just wanted some pictures of them. Okay? But what happened was, when I started taking the pictures, the orbs, of course, are in the room. There are other beings right here with us watching this lecture and watching you and me. Now, what I do is, the Wanacue vortex now is in my chest, and it has been now for about 6 or 7 months. I go around the country, and I've done this in Global, and I go and I open the vortex artificially, just a window, and I take people out, and they take their regular cameras with them that they've used their whole life, and they take pictures, and they come back with evidence. So where I go, I actually carry the doorway with me. It gives me the ability to shoot the beings in the room with us. Now, during the workshop, if people want me to, I will have Sandra, and I'll show you the camera, it'll be clean. Sandra, my partner, and my girlfriend, will go around the room and show you what is sitting in the room with you watching our lecture. And that goes over pretty good sometimes, and sometimes people get a little scared. But this is a being watching Christopher and myself, Carol and Parker, at the Mysterious Valley vortex that Christopher took us to, a very secret one that he knows about, and we got the evidence right away. Now, people come up to me and say, you know what? Those orbs, that's digital glitch. I heard Kodak say that. I heard Kodak say that too. So I asked Devron, I said, you know what? I said, we better make sure that these orbs that I'm shooting are real, like you're telling me, because if they are a glitch in digital technology, number one, I can't figure out how we're getting them on every regular film camera also at the Vortex. So how's that work? And two, people are going to believe that these are digital glitches. So I took the picture the next night of Tommy Hawksblood and my brother-in-law going into the entrance of the alien base in Wanacue, and there was this orb. And if you look very closely, the branch of the tree is sticking right through the orb. Indisputable evidence that it's not a glitch. Because I'm 20 feet away, as you can see the people right there. I'm 20 feet away taking the picture. The orb is right there 20 feet away from me, sticking with a branch through it. No digital glitch. And now Kodak has reneged and said there's no digital glitch in the technology. Digital cameras pick up a spectrum of light that we can't see as humans. Put it this way, it's the light that our cats can see. Because I'll show you my cats playing with the aliens. And when I see them playing, I take pictures and they're batting orbs around. That's what they're doing, they're having fun. Put that technology into a certain antenna such as me, and you get some amazing things. Now, this is fantastic. I think this timing of this alien technology, this digital technology is absolutely great, because now people can go around, and whether I show you or I open the doorway or other people, and start actually filming these things. And Carol Wagner, who is here with Global Science, goes out 4 nights a week religiously, and she is shooting light beings and orbs and creatures everywhere around her home in Colorado. Matter of fact, she told me she can't stop. You know, you get addicted on this because it's just so neat. So there's that evidence there that shows it's not a glitch in digital technology. When these things decide to move, they watch us from the weeds. They hide. They hide from me because I can see them, and they want to observe. When these things decide to move, they will move at top speed of 186,000 miles a second, the speed of light. This is actually moving slow. We disturbed it. My friend Chris, who I trained by Montauk, Long Island, trained how to do this because we do our research together, happened to step into the weeds, and bam, this thing took off. He got lucky on the shot. Most of the shots I'm going to show you, you get lucky. You see something, you get lucky, you take the shot, you get it. Okay? This is an orb taking off. The energy of the light going. It's actually, as I said, moving slow. Now remember, this moved this far in the moment of a flash. That's it. You got to flash it. You got to use the flash. Bang. That's how fast that thing moved in a moment of a flash. When photographing the aliens, I noticed every time the aliens are around, there's always seemed to be mist around, and it's humid. Okay? And I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, you know, every ghost story or haunted story of ghosts, because I know there are ghosts here also in the astral with the aliens, I go, it's always a rainy night. It's always fog, there's humidity. I go, there has to be something with that. I noticed that the beings I was shooting them better on humid nights. Now, why was I shooting them better on humid nights? Because humidity, I found out, sticks to them. The third dimension and the astral plane are melding together. These things are not so far from us anymore. So when I see them and I take a picture, I always see a lot of astral mist, their atmosphere with them. I have also figured out that if I'm standing here and I see a creature here and it's humid out, if I look at it and go, and blow my breath on it, that humid, moist, warm air coming out of me will stick to it, and I can take a picture and it's completely visible. Now here's an analogy. You take a plane of glass, perfectly clear, and put it in front of you. You don't see it. You hold it out, you don't see it. You see right through it. But if you go up to that plane of glass and go, all of a sudden you see it. And I'm going to show you what we've done with that technique, which takes up about 35% of my evidence. Also what I've done, because of the extra spray, let's say you put me against the wall right here and you take a giant paint spray can and you spray me. You're going to see me all painted and you're going to see overspray behind me. What I've done with some of the pictures, even though they're very clear, but I don't want them to be confusing, I put the original picture untouched next to a picture where I have taken out the overspray, so you can see exactly what I'm talking about, against the original untouched picture. And I put them side by side, and you'll see that in the workshop. You'll see one here. But this is the orbs when they're moving. This is the energy when it's moving. The aliens show me how to create radionic type feeding machines for them where they feed on the energy. I call them communicators or cosmic gas stations. This one they downloaded to me in about a minute. I went to Radio Shack, bought the pieces for $100, put it together. It's basically a flashlight in a tube with a crystal on top, all wired up to this antenna, which is like an octahedron, kind of inverted octahedron. And I waited to see, and I started taking pictures. And as you can see, the orbs, the aliens in their light bodies coming in to feed. And they'll center right above each one, above that crystal, and they'll feed on the energy. Now, pyramids, most people know that pyramids are, the energy is not in the pyramid. You take the height of the pyramid, cut it in half, and go that far above the pyramid, and that's where the energy is centered. That's why the UFOs are always sent. You always see them over the pyramids about that high. It's the same thing here. It's not on the crystal that the energy is centered. It's right about in the center above the crystal. Now these communicators we have taken out to the vortex, and they come. They come, the aliens. They come and they feed. Actually, now we've gone beyond the communicators and are actually using myself and Sandra as the communicators, as two poles, because we are twin flames and we have the same chart. And we put me and her together, and these things come right through. But remember, they've been coming through anyway for hundreds and hundreds of years in the area. Now we're directing them to us so I can take a picture or vanquish whatever it is, and then bring the evidence out to you. But there's how the communicators work, and they're fantastic. They really are. I used to say I have the mission of convenience. I can shoot UFOs off my porch and shoot aliens in my basement. When I got that contract for the television show, they sent a lady out from Switzerland named Scotty. They gave her 12 pictures, regular pictures. She bought it from the 7-Eleven, you know, the disposable cameras. She says, I get any evidence in 12 pictures, you have your contract. This is her 12th picture. That's myself and Preston Hunt, who's a metaphysician, who's out there, and that is a solid football orb. And the football orbs in the vortex are the dragon beings right between us. I'm putting, again, batteries in my camera, as you can see in most of my pictures. I'm always putting batteries in my camera. And there's this football orb right there, and I'm going to show you a number of different varieties of the football orbs. This one happened to come out very clear. This got me the contract, but at the same time, it tanked me. If she didn't get anything, I would have had the show. On 12 pictures, she got it. Then we have the light beings. Now, the light beings are different than the moving orbs. They are light creatures. And we have a number of different varieties of them, of blue and red and yellow. And they're kind of like filler. I call them filler in the astral. They seem to be everywhere, kind of like worms are here in the ground. I'm going to show you a lot of pictures about them, of them. These are the light rods. These things hit you, you're down. I've been hit by them in front of people. Sandra has been hit by them. They mess you up. They're actually a weapon. And when these things hit a human being, they go down. I've been hit. I tell you, for a whole week I was sick. Devron told me, he said, now you know what this is. This came from a UFO, a ship. This is one of their weapons. We let you get the effect of it, and then they converted the energy into me being more psychic. Because we never waste anything. They let me take the hit. They let me hurt. They let me feel that. I was lying in bed. I was out. I was out for the count. I wasn't even going to the vortex. For me not to go to the vortex, you know something's up. And then I woke up, and Devron said, okay, now you got a taste of it, Sargel? And I'm like, yeah. They go, convert. And next thing you know, I wake up, I go, I'm smarter. I'm all better. And I started doing newer and newer things after that. We'll show you a lot of varieties of these. These are the alien probes. Again, we're looking at the base of the bridge, one of the columns. These are the alien probes that are floating around us, watching us, and collecting information. Now, when this particular probe came at me, I had my camcorder out, my digital camcorder. I had my camera on top of it, and I was taking two different types of pictures, the camcorder and the camera, and I seen it come right at me. But when it came right at me, it was only about this is about 20 feet from me, coming right at me at my height. I'm up on a hill here. And I'm like, I got it, this is it, because I know I'd get my hands on it. So I took the picture, and as it came at me, I threw my hand up, and this hit my hand and went right through it, and right through me, and it felt like hard Jell-O, because I figured I'd knock this thing down. I'm bringing it to Global Science. I'm going to put it on the table here so everybody can take a look at it. That would be great. I hit it, it went right through my hand, felt like hard Jell-O, and I looked, and it looks like a pasta, like mini pastas is what it looks like. And it just kept tumbling right on through the forest, right on past me. And I'm like, damn, okay. At least I felt it. That was cool. But I can't have you feel, I felt it. And that's what it feels like, hard jello. Now, at the same time, on the same day, my people in Montauk photographed the very same orb there as I'm photographing in Wanacue. See, the Montauk Indians, who are in control of all that special crystal and all the special neat stuff that are there under Montauk, only have one set of relatives on this planet, and that is the Lenni Lenape Indians of Wanacue, New Jersey. DuPont Corporation owns most of Montauk. DuPont Corporation owns the Vortex. So you start to put things together. You start to see the players are all in place, you know, and I'm putting the information together still for the new book that's coming out, and I think it's going to be something. I think it's really going to shake some people up. This is here, this is there, 15 minutes? Okay, thank you. And we'll bring that together. I was flipping out in July, because I do that, and I'm like, I need more evidence. I'm tired of the pictures. I was called to a council by Archangel Michael, or who appeared, energy that appeared to me as Archangel Michael, at this big wooden table. And I could not see, he was sitting in the middle, and I recognized him immediately from the time I first awoke in 1988, and he had 4 beings in shadows on one side and 4 beings on the other. And I walk up and I said, Michael. I said, I haven't seen you in 10 years. I said, what am I doing here? He goes, you yelled loud enough, didn't you? I said, yeah. I said, I'm flipping out down there, bouncing off of walls, literally. I said, what's going on? He gave me some information, which I'll talk about in the workshop, but what he did tell me was, this was 2 weeks before I did the August Global Science, he said, for the next 2 weeks, we will let you photograph angels so that you can bring this with you, give you a break from photographing all these demons. I'm like, okay, and for the next 2 weeks, I went out, and I started shooting beautiful white angels coming through. So even if I was hallucinating in a dream state, this meeting, right, and only for 2 weeks did I shoot these beings. Now, he said you are at the Council of 9. I said, what is this Council of 9? He said, go back and talk to people. They'll tell you what this Council of 9 is. And now people tell me it's the Great White Brotherhood. J.J. Hurtak, who goes around the country speaking in his lectures about me, calls me one of the keys of Enoch. And I've just found out recently in his book, because I didn't read his book, that he talks about the Council of 9. So things start to fall together personally for me as I'm having these visions, and the evidence comes right up. Again, the contact on February 10th of the Endorians. I'm going to show you more pictures of them. You do see the rip in time opening up, which is the whirlpool, and the lizard, which is horned right there. And we're going to show you better pictures of this in the workshop. These are the insect aliens. The picture on the left is the untouched photo. The picture on the right, all I've done is airbrushed a little paint around the creature. Can you see this well? I can't. From the side it looks dark, but you can see it. Around the creature so you can see what I'm talking about. This creature was 12 feet tall. He came right out of the doorway of the astral, started walking very slowly in front of me. At that point, that little white dot, that orb appears, which is an Endorian in its light body, and the creature eats it. The Endorians will surround me and sacrifice themselves to these creatures, and I will show you the dragons eating them. The problem is I wanted to bring an alien down here to introduce you to the world. I have the rainbow race on film that we meet with, and they're gorgeous. But every time a rainbow race alien appears to me, a dragon comes out of nowhere and eats it right in front of me. So I have figured out that I have to figure out a way to kill the dragon. I kill the dragon and I get the prize. So now I'm reading mythology books. I'm reading fantasy books. I know if my sword has to kill it and it's got a big crystal in its heart and I got to cut it out. Of course, you know, that doesn't go too good when you go up to people and say, have you ever heard anything about dragons, how to kill them? You know, I'm meeting dragons. And they're like, yeah, get out of here. You know, you're not meeting any dragons. But these are the insect aliens that are coming through, and they are carnivorous when they incarnate. This is in the astral, as it's appearing to me. Sandra, the only other person that I've met, I brought 41 people out to the Vortex. 38 on the very first time have gotten evidence. I no longer bring people out there because my partner, as you remember, Tommy Hawksblood, became possessed and lost it. And I'll show you the actual point of possession and the being entering him. And other people in November, I brought 3 people out there that forced me to bring them out there, and because of emotional cracks, they lost it. Okay, I got one guy still hiding under his bed at night, locking his doors. He has a hatchet in his hand. 35-year-old man will not come out at night because of what he saw there, and that he got the evidence himself, so he knows it's real. Okay, Sandra shoots the beings like I do. Okay, nobody else has shot the beings. Now, what her specialty is, she shoots these Merkava craft. This is Mysterious Valley, again, during an Indian ritual where they opened up a doorway. I think Carol Dennis was there, if I remember correctly. These are the solid Merkava ships that are coming in, and we're going to show you in Wanacue them coming into our reality, and inside each one is a little alien. And we're going to show you what he looks like by the hundreds and the thousands. See, there isn't an invasion going to happen. It's already happening. It's just slightly out of focus, and slowly by the year 2000 it will completely come into focus. Okay, you ready to see who's on board those ships? Dragons are aboard those ships. This is a picture of one of the dragons from the vortex. When I wrote the book, when I was only shooting the UFOs, I said that there were dragons aboard these UFOs, and now I have the pictures of them. And they are big. This one was the size of a bull elephant. I only caught it from the neck up because it was only about 25 feet away from me. We're going to show you a number of different, this is a nice looking one. We're going to show you a number of different dragons. Now, what's the chance? I write the book. Devron tells me and needs you that there are dragons and Atlanteans aboard these UFOs. I could have shot a Pillsbury Doughboy the next year. You know what I'm saying? No, I kept coming in with this evidence. They always back me up. And these pictures that I'm showing you right now, on a scale to 1 to 10, are about 3. What I'm going to show at the workshop are 10s. Of every conceivable notion, of every conceivable, so much coming in that it's mind-blowing. I mean, I'm not just shooting aliens. I'm shooting mass consciousness forms. I'm shooting ancient gods. I'm shooting ghosts, I'm shooting demons, I'm shooting dragons. I mean, it's just a variety and over again. And this will probably be my last Global Science Congress for a while. I have canceled all my other lectures, Millennial Expos, Source of Life Expos, Expos out west. I'm not in it for it. I only want to do Global Science because the people are really great here, Dean and everybody. So I said, I will do this one, and then I'm going back, and I'll do my research. The crystal ships are flown by the Endorians. Okay, those are their ships. They are the counter to the dragons. They are the good aliens. Now, around, I wanted to get pictures with Al Bielek. I wanted to get pictures with Stuart Swerdslow. They're from the Montauk Project. They're like homies to me. I like these people. I really wanted to, I wanted to get pictures. So we start taking a couple pictures. Just going to show you me and Al there on the day we got here having a little breakfast together. Put our arms around one another. And what do you see whipping around my crown chakra but a light being? Right there as we're having breakfast. You can see it. There it is. It's a moving light beam. This is what we're going to shoot in the audience when I'm doing the workshop. Here we were taking the Global Science, remember, for the group picture? Well, if you look what's on my chest coming out, but a blue orb. I told you, I carry the vortex with me. And, the blue ones are the good ones. They're the Endorians. Now, Stuart was up giving his lecture, and I took a couple pictures, and there's a large concentration, I hope you can see that, on the left of orbs. I got to find out what these lights are, because they love energy. All the orbs, like these aliens, like these lights. And most of them you see on the right are nothing. They're all concentrated over that light, and they're enjoying themselves. Now here we have a large white orb right above, watching Stuart speak, and we have a blue one. Can you see that? I can't see it from here. All right, you can see it. A blue one over the audience. So I already proved that they are here with us, watching. You just can't see them. Now, what I've done is I made up new discs I have at the table of the astral beings, of the dragons, of the demons that I'm selling. Okay, so you can take these pictures home yourself, untouched. Take them to graphic studios, take them to Disney, take them wherever you want, have them checked out. You're going to see they're valid, but you also can have this information and decipher it for yourself. The book, nobody will publish it, so I figured out a way to do it. I sell it on disc. 222 pages with the occupying pictures and graphs with it, all on a computer disk. You can pop it up on your computer and read it under Microsoft Word, which all computers have. You can print it out and read it, or you can take it to Office Max if you don't have a computer, and for $3 or $4, they will print out the book for you. And then you can read it, because what the information in that book is real. The reason that nobody will publish my book is because I'm backing it up with the evidence. I'm going out there and I'm saying, I can do this. I can shoot light beam on your shoulder, And unlike a lot of my peers who make tremendous claims, I do it. Not only do I talk the talk, I walk the walk, and I'm quite confident in myself, obviously. Call it ego, call it experience. But I will eventually bring one of these light beings, these rainbow beings, in to meet with people, physically, where it will give the lecture, and I can sit and watch it. This will eventually happen. Everything that I said that I would do, I've done so far. Right now, I am in the middle of the 3rd level. We're just about done?
No, you have 5 minutes.
Okay. We're at the 3rd level, which is the next level of validity. What I'm about to show you in the workshop, I cannot prepare you for. This is nothing. These pictures have never been seen by the modern human race ever. And I'm not just just blowing smoke up your skirt or something, or whatever the saying might be. These things are awesome, and the only warning I'm going to give you is that it may challenge your reality programming of what is real and what isn't real. Okay, is there any questions? I guess 5 minutes, we'll do some questions. I think they have me on Monday morning at 8:30. Okay, but we'll see what happens, how many people sign up or how many people maybe want it at another time, we'll see. 8:30.
If there's questions, got to be at the microphone.
Okay.
So all can hear it. The microphone's still back there.
Okay, or I can repeat them? Dean,
Pardon?
if they don't want to get up, I can repeat them?
Well, if you can repeat them, but it doesn't work as well as if they say
Okay.
it over
Well, does
the
anybody have any questions about what they're saying?
Tell us more about the Illuminati, the New World Order, or how they stand.
The Illuminati, the New World Order, tell you more about it. The Illuminati, as I did when I worked for Defense Intelligence and World Banking, are a bunch of black witches that know what's going down. And what's going down is we have deals with astral beings, and we always have. They have cut deals with the dragons, the dragon aliens, and they're preparing for them to come back. And they will be back in the year 2003 in full force, and there will be a war, as I see it, from 2003 to September 9th, 2011. And we're going to have to face these things. That's why I wonder how come I'm giving all this evidence. Why me? I think the other day I was so bummed out, I said to God, I said, you gave it to the wrong person. I said, you gave it to an ex-appliance salesman. I said, why didn't you give it to a PhD or a nuclear physicist or a scientist who's respected in the community so that he can get this information out? I still haven't received an answer on why. Maybe it's because I'm stupid enough to bring it out to the public and put myself out there in the shooting gallery. But the Illuminati, all they are really a bunch of high-tech witches that are pretty much bored with everything they've done here, and now they're trying to get some new territory. Once they control the whole world, okay? I call it like the rock star syndrome. Do you ever wonder why rock stars always turn gay? You know why? They've had so many beautiful women, they got bored. So they try something different. It's just like the Illuminati. They have done just about everything possible to us for the last 2 millenniums. Now it's time for some new frontier. And their deal with the dragons and the interdimensional beings are quite real. Why in the last 50 years, as great of a scientific race that we are, and adventurers as we are, have we not come up with one solid piece of evidence in public about what the common belief of UFOs and aliens are? Why? And please do not mention Roswell to me, because I'll throw up right now in front of you, because I'm real tired of Roswell. Even, eventually they're going to tell you Roswell was real, but 50 or 60 years down the line, they've already so far gone past that. All right, now it's time to tell them. Let them all focus on that. That'll make every news line. Meanwhile, we're doing our work out in vortexes like this.
A couple of questions right quick,
Okay.
Brian.
How do you decide who to vanquish?
I feel whether it's good or whether it's bad. The only information that I have is what I feel. So when I see a dragon, I don't feel good. When I see an angel, I feel real good. So the dragons I go after. That's the only information.
Next question.
Based on what you know, when will the stock market quiver?
Well, I have made a number of those predictions, and they have come pretty much true. I'm waiting to see what the Y2K does to the stock market. I happen to know the Y2K is a setup. I think most people know that. It wasn't a mistake that we overlooked. They want to move us to a certain reality, and they're going to use Y2K, and I think it's going to affect the stock market. So look around that time when everybody expects something to happen. I believe the stock market will be affected then, around December.
One more question in the back.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
One more, Mr. Chair.
Back-
Yeah,
there,
yes,
back
ma'am.
line.
Yeah. Sometimes when I've been doing my work, I have felt like spiritual attack, work for helping people. I felt spiritual attack and I felt defense too. Is there anything we can do directly to help with self-protection? And is there something you've got that would help with that, or can
Well, the only thing I have is information, okay, besides that book, which I do suggest everybody to read, okay, is you want to be the most powerful that you can be? Do you want to be well protected? You want to be like a rock? You want to be like me out there who does not get possessed? Then just be true to thyself.
We got to go.
I'm a SOB of light, okay? And that's the way I believe I am. And that makes me strong. And I think we're done?
Yes.
And if you do
We have
that,
to.
you will
Thank you.
also be strong. Thank you, folks.
Okay.
Please come
Thank
to
you,
the
Brian.
workshop. Please visit the
Brian.
table back there. God bless.
Okay, thank you.